Today, I want to show you our new 6.5 PRC die. This is a great hunting round, and it's become a long-range shooter's favorite. So we decided to go ahead and make it, but we did do things a little bit differently with this die since it's a very long-range round. What we'll do is we'll put some photos up of the bore so you can see the size and finish, and then the neck through, which is obviously a neck sizer, which has been honed. We're offering this in two different diameters, a 290 and a 291, all based on our testing with both Hornady and LaPua brass. Unfortunately, I did not get any Alpha brass or Derek's brass over at Peterson, but this is a good start. So you can see the new case is a very jagged mouth. There's brass filings hanging off and so on. So all I did was I put it to some 2000 grit paper, easy rub, and then I put this pressed into some Scotch-Brite and turned it a few times, and it gave me a nice clean neck mouth to work with. This is a Hornady case, and at the base, near the angle here, ahead of the shoulder, we're at 291, and then at the very mouth, we're at 290, so we have a 1,000th difference from here to here, which means the sizing die itself is going to reshape the shoulder, allow you to adjust for your setback. It's going to tighten up this radius so that the diameter here and at the mouth will be closer. So when you seat your bullet, you'll have a much better contact on that bullet from bottom to top of neck. Okay, we thought that might be important. So first thing we'll do is we're going to size this Hornady case. Now, interestingly, I made 5 different Swiss machine Mandrel shafts that drop into the die. The expander area is here. I made them from 262, believe it or not, to 265. The reason for it is these cases have very thick necks, and your spring back, even with annealing, is going to be quite a bit. So we've got expanders from 262 all the way up to 265. So you can choose whatever you want based on what your needs are. When we ship you the die, we're going to send it to you with a 263 and a 264. Now, we know the bullet's 264, but with that spring back, if you anneal, you'll get your 2,000ths. Okay? Along the journey of learning how to use the die with your particular brass, we can communicate, and I want to communicate so that we can dial in your round so that it's perfect. It's exactly what you want it to be. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drop this mandrel in that has the pointer on it, so there's no decapping pin. This just keeps the threads clean up into the shaft, and it acts as a guide. What kind of guide is it? Well, it's useful, I guess you could say. So that's going to drop in here. Now, we have 2 more options. We have the ability to put the primer flicker spring over the shaft. So while you're sizing, that shaft will rise a bit, hit the stop point, spring will rebound, push the mandrel down, which will flick the primer off your brass. Is it really needed on this particular round? I don't really think so, but it never hurts to force a primer at speed down the chute of your ram. So it will eliminate clogging, primer clogging in the chute of your press. So that is a benefit, something to keep in mind. We're going to ship it like this. You can choose to use it or not to use it. If you're not going to use the spring, please remove this O-ring so that you can turn the cap all the way in to touch down on the top of the shaft. Very important. Okay, so for now, we're going to use it. I'm going to go over that shaft. Going to turn that snug. So there's no primers in this cases. They're brand new, so it's not going to make any difference. But now let's watch how smooth. Okay, so we just went through the expander on the neck setting from the factory. You heard that snap because the shaft rose against the expander and the neck, and it pushed upward, met the stop point, and then snapped back down. It'll work that way when you're priming. So there's your indicator right there. So now we're going to go up into the neck. Easy, smooth push down. Then we're going to come back out. And we're going to come through the expander now. Okay? So let's take a measurement. You can see, and we'll put a picture on the video face, how much this neck radius has tightened up above the radius. Above the angle here. Nice tight radius. So let's take a measurement. 290. Go to here. 290. Give it a little turn. We're back to 290. So, yeah, we've got 290. So we've got equal pressure on that bullet as it's seated from the mouth all the way to that radius. It's not spread. So you have equal pressure now, tension on that bullet that you see. So let's go ahead and take a measurement here on the inside. And we are at 258. A lot more tension than we want. So what would we do? Real simple. We'd go to a wider diameter mandrel to open this case more. But I'm going to let you decide which size mandrel you want. If the 263 or the 264 isn't enough after you've annealed. I'm assuming most of you will anneal for this long range round. We're not going to jump the gun. We're going to discuss what you need, which we have in stock and ready to ship to you so that you can create the most perfect round for your rifle as humanly possible using our dies. Okay? So now we're going to do a LaPua case. Okay, so you can see the annealing that they've done. The one thing I noticed about the LaPua, which I expected, is that case neck is really thick. I don't know how many you like the neck turn or if you don't like the neck turn, but that may be a requirement on this to really get a good round. Let's see what happens after we size it. Okay, once again, like the Hornady, there's not a very tight radius here. It's tight, but not real tight at the radius at the neck and angle. We'll take a measurement there. And we're at 291. And then up top, we're still at 291. Well, it's 291.5 to 292. So it's actually spread out from, I guess, springback. We're going to have to call it springback from the factory. So let's go ahead and size this case and see what it looks like after we're done. All right, so we're going in. Now, I'm not lubing the necks. I'm just running them up over the expander. Okay, so we're over the expander. Give it a little push down, nice and smooth. And then we come back out, and you'll feel the expander, and out we come. All right, so let's check our diameter. So you can see this is tightened up. Let's see what we've got. 291, 290.5, 291. We're looking good. The neck is sized in a position now where you're consistent from the base of the neck to the top of the neck at the mouth. And I'll go in and measure the diameter. We're at 258. The Hornady was, let's see, 258.5. Okay. We have mandrels all the way up to 265 and even 266, based on the fact that some of this brass is going to spring back 4,000. So if you're at 266, you get a 4,000 spring back. You're at 262 in that neck, which is ideal for your 264 bullet, a 6.5 millimeter. So now let's do this. I'm just going to take a LaPua case, which is the one we sized. I'm going to bring it on over to this station. Well, this is a Nosler 140, I think. Yeah, so 140. So we're going to set it. No, but we're tight. Okay, that's centered up. Push that down. And that's a finish round, providing there's powder and a primer. So that's with the Nosler bullet. That's what it's going to look like. Okay, now let's do the Hornady. I'm going to do the Hornady with a 147 VLD. Set that right in there. Bring this down a little. Okay, give me some more room to work. That sets pretty nicely, doesn't it? Get this in. And here we go. Same length. I'm assuming it might be a tiny difference because we have different bullets. Oh yeah, that VLD is up a little higher, right? Makes sense. Well, keep this in mind. There's a 200 thousandths difference in the overall length for the 6.5 PRC. So from lowest point to maximum length is 200 thousandths different. So you can verify that in your load data. So you can decide which length you want when you do your bullet development, and which bullet you want, which shape you want. You know, you want a ELD, or do you want a VLD? You want an X? That's all up to you. That's all part of load development. But once again, I'm here to discuss with you what you need, get your feedback, and understand why you need it. So any information that you can feed back to me with these cases is going to be critical in us developing the perfect die that holds your concentricity on a bullet concentricity test to, at minimum, probably going to be just under a half thousandths, might bump up to 1,000th. But if it's just one little tick on the gauge, it's just the bullet. It can't be in the neck or in the concentricity. You know, your concentricity would linger as you turn that case. But if you just get a tick, chances are it's on the bullet. So for now, that shows you the new 6.5 PRC dies. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with the accuracy, the results that you get with these dies. I really do. I mean, we've won a lot of nationals with our other dies, particularly 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor, even the BR. But with this 6.5 die, I went the nines, man. Let's look at a gauge. Here's one I had done already. A little lube in there. Here's one we just did. You can see how nicely that fits in this Sheridan slotted gauge. Now, if you look at the base, it's right about at the second line, right here in the middle, which is Sammy spec. So if you need a little longer, you can obviously just back the die out a little bit. 0 is 1.25 from the base of your shell plate to the top of the shell plate where the die meets. So if you need a little longer, just back the die out 1/8 of a turn, or even just a 1/16 of an inch, and then snug it back down. And you can adjust for your chamber. As far as dimension goes, we're as close to Sammy Spec as you're going to get, I'll tell you right now. And it's a nice smooth die, which we're going to feature pictures of on the video. And the bore for the neck sizing, once again, is completely honed. It's glass, and it's perfectly concentric. So look forward to hearing from you. I'm sure you have questions about this die, this sizing, your ammo, your bullets, and so on. So yeah, let's get a conversation started. You can call me, email me, message me, text me. Phone number is 401-575-1288. It's time that we jumped into the long-range loading and hunting game with our design and with a few extra tweaks to make sure that at 1,000 or at 2,000, you're as accurate and clean burning as possible. So that's the goal, and we want to work with you to get to that level. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a great day. I look forward to hearing from you.